See, we'd been liquor store robbers, gas station robbers, and eventually even bank robbers. And we fucked it up every time. There were just too many factors. Too many things that could go wrong. It was Adam who got the idea. He said we should start robbing other criminals. Who are they going to call to complain to? The cops? Criminals can't go to the cops. Of course, we're leaving ourselves vulnerable to kickback from other criminal organizations. But that's the whole point. With the enhancements, we don't have to be worried about any of that shit. That's how we met, me and Adam, in the program. Basically, we'd both volunteered for this experiment that was supposedly all about trying to augment human physiology. We were test rats. There were like 30 of us, but only me and Adam made it out. I remember there was this one guy who used to sit across from us in the hospital cafeteria. He was part of the program too, but his thing had gone wrong, and his skin was all swollen and pussing like crazy where these mechanized implants had been installed. I think he was probably in a lot of pain, but they kept him knocked up on morphine 24/7. Still, I remember watching one time. There was this big blister built up around where one of the cables ran into his spine, and the blister burst. This weird oil leaked out, and he didn't say anything, but he did piss himself. It was pretty awful. He didn't even know. Died about a week after that. Scared the shit out of us, but what can you do? We got lucky, I guess. Our bits never went bad. See, the funny thing is, Adam and I, we both have the same twist, just manifested in different ways. Both of us are about 10 times stronger than a normal person, but Adam's also 10 times tougher. Like his skin and muscles and bone are all denser, making him just about impossible to penetrate or cut. Me, on the other hand, while I got stronger like Adam, I didn't get tougher. I'm a little denser, more solid than I was, but nowhere near what Adam is. But the advantage that gives me is that I'm lighter, and that also means I'm faster. Like way faster. Difficult to quantify faster. And it kind of messed with my head, so I can perceive motion at a faster rate than humans can normally process. Something like that anyway. Honestly, they never quite figured it out. It's like I can see... The easiest way to put it is trajectories. It's like I can perceive an object moving in to occupy a space before it actually occupies that space. I'm told it's a cognitive side effect of my speed enhancements. Not sure what that means. It's a little like being on ecstasy. Like, always, but especially when I'm really... I don't know how to put this. Being in the moment is how I think about it. I guess it's when my whole body starts processing at a higher speed? Something like that. So eventually they decide the experiment's a success or whatever, and they start making plans to put us on ice, with thoughts that they're gonna kinda wipe our minds with these drugs they've got and then sell us as soldiers. But one of the nurses had started to like us, and she warned us it was coming. So the night before, we just got our shit together and broke out of there. Went rogue. They only ever sent a couple of guys after us, and, well, that's a whole other story. But once we were out, what were we supposed to do? We were broke. We had these bodies. We tried to see if we could be something different. We had these options now. Maybe we could take a hand at being professional crooks. But no, that was a dumb idea. Who does that? Robs banks and shit in this day and age? But when your primary asset is your ability to shake people down, what do you do for a living? Well, like I said, it was Adam who came up with the idea. You prey on criminals. Who are they gonna call, you know? So that's what we did. Adam knew about this slum bar called Odin's Eye, where a legit Aryan biker gang did business. So we just walked in there one night. Hell, we weren't even sure we were really going to go through with it, but Once we were inside, everything just happened so fast. Like, even for me, it was fast. You want to know what we did? Shit. It's a weird memory now, like a lot of blurry photographs of a big event. I remember walking into the place and seeing all those guys. They were big, fucking scary guys. Back in our other lives, back before, we would have never gone into a place like that. But now? I mean, I'd been in a few fights, gotten my ass kicked mostly, but I'd also learned how to get my own back. I'd never killed anybody before, though. Adam had, and he wasn't really crazy about it. But here we were, picking a fight with a big crowd of scary, violent dudes. We just stood there for a moment, taking the place in. And then they saw us. The whole bar seemed to turn and see us all at once, and somebody said, well, what a person like that says when they see a couple of guys like us. Adam and I, we were in these matching suits. His in dark blue, mine in dark red, both made out of this kind of silken, shimmery fabric. Adam's idea again. He thought it'd make us look cool. Whatever. I remember, right before we walked in, I'd been wondering how we were supposed to kick things off. And then, once we were in there, about a dozen guys just got up off their seats and started moving towards us. I don't think they were going to kick the shit out of us necessarily, but I think we were about to be thrown out forcibly. Or at least, that was their idea. Like I said, it's all a blur now. I've probably done worse things since then, but at the time, like I said, I'd been in fights before, but this was something different. I remember the first guy who got up to me. He was just laughing and he went to poke me in the chest, I guess. And my hand. I just thought about doing it and my hand just snapped out and I'd caught him right in his, what do you call it, his solar plexus. And I thought maybe I'd just push him across the room. But I hit him wrong. My hand was moving too fast. So instead of shoving him, my fingertips crushed his breastplate and there was a burst of blood out his back. Because I'd ruptured him. Like those kung fu guys who could crush the brick under the brick they were punching. I'd blown a chunk of his spine out of his back. Whatever. Fuck him, right? He's some racist biker who contributes to society by selling meth and hassling minorities. I'm not going to apologize for what I did. Anyway, that took things all the way up instantaneously. Every dude in the bar was either up to fight or out the goddamn door. Maybe 3 people left, which left a crowd of about 40 big, mean, drunk bikers. And they all started breaking out weapons, like pool cues or a length of chain or a chair or a beer bottle. Maybe a half a dozen small handguns. Only the bartender had a shotgun and, well, we'll get to him. So Adam, he literally just picks up the biggest, fattest biker he can get his hands on and throws the guy into the approaching crowd, scattering them like bowling pins. I'm making it sound like it was fun, but it wasn't. It was scary as fuck. People were getting hurt. God, that makes me sound so distant from it. We were hurting people. So Adam took one side of the bar and I took the other. I just started moving forward, hurting guys. I tried to keep my damage isolated to arms and legs and basically between the neck and balls. I don't think I killed anybody else that night, but I sure did fill up a hospital. It's weird. Normally, even if you're a really fast person, it doesn't make that much of a difference in a bar fight. Sure, it might save your ass a couple of times, but eventually you're going to catch a knife in the ribs or a chair to the back of the head. But I'm not just a really fast person. I'm something else. And it's like I'm an adult in a room full of preschool kids, little toddlers. They can't do anything. I know they'd like to. I can see them scrambling to try. But it's just so easy. You step around them, and along the way, you break an arm. You move to the side, and as you go past, you shatter a knee. They were all trying so hard, they just never touched me. Adam, on the other hand, got kicked and punched and had like a dozen chairs and tables smashed over his back. Knife blades would bend and break against his skin. None of it mattered, not even when they shot him. Well, except for one guy, the one who shot him in the face. That was the bartender. And that guy Adam did kill. But he'd shot Adam in the face, you know? Double-barreled shotgun at point-blank range. And Adam, he's just really, really tough. But he can still feel stuff. He can still suffer damage and have the nerve send that message to his brain. And sure, it would have killed another man stone dead, whereas it just gave Adam a nasty headache. But it still hurt like hell. Anyway, Adam hits the guy, the bartender, and takes the guy's head clean off. Sends it flying across the room like we were in a horror movie. And then the guy with no head. His neck starts spurting out blood all over everybody, all over the bar. And I realized that we were in a horror movie. We'd walked into a bar and turned it into a horror movie. All around me, men were moaning, crying in pain. There was blood everywhere. And that was even before the bartender started spurting all over everything. And there were still so many more to go. Again, it's all a blur of action. I remember there was at least one moment where I wondered, would it be easier if I just started killing them all? But I couldn't let myself go down that path, you know? A bit of murder, fine. But you don't want to be the guy who massacres like 20 or 30 dudes all in one go. That's hard to come back from, I assume. Do I feel bad about it? Dude, they were a white pride gang who would have loved to have hate crimed Adam and I just for existing. Fuck them. So we punched, and we hit, and we moved through them. And eventually, what had originally been a bar full of big tough bikers was just a busted up pile of sad dudes with broken bones. Plus a couple of corpses and a lot of broken furniture. But on the other side of all that was a locked office door, which Adam kicked in. And inside that office was a safe, which Adam tore open. And inside that safe was $5,000 and a brick of cocaine worth about 10 grand. We sold it for $6 just to get rid of it quick. Nobody needs that much coke around. So, 11 grand. Pure guilt-free profit for what amounted to about 15 minutes worth of work. Not a bad deal, really. Did the bikers ever come back on us for it? Oh, hell, they sure wanted to. But that's a whole other story. I'll tell you sometime.